ROBS 401 business funding, what it covers and what it does are not. A real IRS recognised strategy for funding a business or franchise with your retirement savings. Tax-free, penalty-free and without a bank. Here's exactly how it works, what it costs and what the part almost nobody talks about. There is a real IRS recognised way to use your retirement account to buy a business or franchise tax-free and penalty-free without touching a bank. It's called ROBS, Rollovers as Business Startups. Here's exactly how it works and what it actually costs to set up, and the part almost nobody talks about, what it leaves you exposed to once the deal is done. So ROBS, it's not a loan and not an early withdrawal. It's a legal IRS recognized structure that lets your retirement account fund your business directly with no tax hit and no penalty. So ROBS has become an increasingly popular for franchise and business acquisitions precisely because it sidesteps the traditional lending process entirely. There are no credit checks, no debt service obligations, and no interest payments. But like any powerful financial tool, it comes with real requirements, real costs, and real risks that deserve a clear-eyed look before you commit. So, what ROBS actually is. ROBS is a four-step structure that converts your existing retirement savings into equity capital for a new business, legally and without triggering taxes or early withdrawal penalties. Understanding each step is essential before moving forward. Go and form a C Corp, set up 401k, roll funds, buy company stock. Your retirement account ends up owning stock in your new business, and the cash from that stock purchase is what funds the acquisition or startup. This is not a workaround or a grey area. Done correctly, it's a fully compliant structure that the IRS explicitly recognises. That is exactly why it is popular for franchise and business acquisitions where buyers want to avoid debt and preserve cash flow from day one. So what it actually takes to qualify. ROBS is not available to everyone, and it's not a same-day process. There are specific structural, financial, and compliance requirements that must be met before a single dollar moves. Understanding these upfront prevents costly surprises later. So minimum funds. Most providers require at least 50K in retirement funds to make the structure worthwhile and cost-effective. C Corp required. So you must form a C Corporation specifically, not an LLC or an S Corp. The entity type is non-negotiable under ROBS rules. So ERISA compliance. The new 401k plan must comply with ERISA and ongoing IRS rules requiring careful setup and continuous administration. Setup typically runs around 5K plus roughly 150 per month for ongoing plan administration, separate from your investment. So setting up the C Corporation, the new plan, and rolling the funds over correctly takes real time, often 3 to 4 weeks. These setup and ongoing administration costs are entirely separate from the money you're actually investing in the business, and they must be planned for independently. The part nobody sugarcoats. So this is real and it is legal, but you're putting your retirement account directly into one single undiversified bet, your own business. If it doesn't work out, you're not just out of the business, you're out of a meaningful piece of your retirement savings, and that is a risk worth naming plainly before you proceed. The IRS also pays close attention to ROBS structures. Improper administration, even after a clean setup, can trigger serious tax consequences. Ongoing compliance is not optional. It is a continuous obligation that comes with the structure as long as it remains in place. So make sure you're in touch with a professional to structure all of this. 3 risks to understand. Your retirement account is now invested in your own company's stock, not diversified funds. If your business fails, that retirement money is largely gone with it. The IRS actively scrutinizes ROBS structures. Improper administration can trigger serious tax consequences. So ROBS concentrates your retirement savings into a single undiversified position. Understand this risk fully before committing. And if you're going to back yourself, you know you can make more of that money and buying your own business, great deals on the line with the silver soon now. Most of those businesses are going to go unsold, so you're getting them for a song or even a great franchise that you're looking at. So, what ROBS covers versus what it leaves out. ROBS is purpose-built to fund the purchase price or the equity injection required to close a deal, but the purchase price is rarely the full picture. And this is where many buyers run into serious trouble after closing. So ROBS covers the business or franchise purchase price, the required equity injection to close the deal, tax-free, penalty-free capital deployment. What it leaves out is the working capital reserve once you are operating. Setup and administration costs, these come out of the pocket. The timing gap during that 3 to 4 week setup process before funds are actually available. People get into trouble when they roll over exactly enough to cover the purchase with nothing left for the first few slow months, no cushion for setup fees, and no plan for the weeks it takes to get the structure in place before closing. The gap between funds committed and funds available is real, and it needs a plan of its own. So let's look at that. Here's where the 5 tool stack fits. So you don't have to choose between using ROBS and protecting your retirement cushion. The right combination of tools means your retirement account funds the deal without carrying the entire risk on its own and without leaving you exposed during the setup window or the early operating months. Rapid gap funding bridges the timing gap while your ROBS structure is still being set up, so you're not stalling waiting for paperwork to clear while a deal's on the table. 0% credit card stacking covers setup costs, admin fees, and the real working capital reserve for marketing staff, so you're not pulling those dollars from your retirement funds. And then less retirement at risk, you end up putting less of your retirement account into the deal, not more, while still getting the full tax and penalty-free access that ROB is built for. Rapid gap funding covers the gap while ROB's paperwork is still moving. 0% stacking covers the working capital reserve and admin costs. Together, they protect the retirement cushion ROBS alone would otherwise consume entirely. And it's worth mentioning, go look at the velocity banking and utilizing a HELOC on a home or investment property, as well as a revolving line that you can use to get a business off the ground. So see what this looks like with your numbers. If you're considering ROBS for a business or franchise purchase, the next step is mapping out exactly where the gap funding and stacking fit around it. So your retirement account is not carrying the entire risk on its own. Every deal is different, and the right structure depends on your specific numbers, timeline, and acquisition target. Head over to gapfunded.com/apply and book a call. Link in the description below. We'll map out where the gap funding and stacking fits around your ROB structure, so your retirement account's not carrying the entire risk on its own. Now, the call is designed to give you a clear picture of how all the tools work together in your specific situation. The ROB structure, go get a professional to sort that out. But then we'll talk about the timing gap, the working capital needed, and the setup costs before you commit to anything. You'll leave with a complete view of the funding stack, not just one piece of it, a game plan. So go and apply down below. I'm Mick Wadley, founder of gapfunded.com, where we move in days, not weeks. ROBS gives you tax and penalty-free access to your own retirement account. It is a powerful IRS recognized structure that has helped thousands of buyers fund businesses and franchise without debt and without a bank. But what you do with the rest of the gap, the working capital, the setup costs, and the timing window is a separate decision. And it does not have to come out of the same account. So ROBS is a tax-free. So rapid gap funding bridges the setup timing gap, so your deal does not stall while the structure is being built, and 0% stacking covers working capital, admin fees, setup costs, protecting your retirement cushion from day one. And if you got equity in homes or investment properties, round 3 can definitely be looked at, which is HELOCs as well. I'm Mick Wadley. Let's go close something.